Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dana for those who don't know who I am, and thank you for being here today. So today's video is going to be my top favorite plants for May. And yeah, I got to kind of mix it up. I got a couple of anthuriums, a couple of alocasias, and some other things. So yeah, without further ado, why don't we just get straight into the video? In no particular order, I'm just going to grab some things and tell you guys what is going on with them and why I like them. So this first one is my Alocasia longa loba. Now, if you have been following me for a while, or if you haven't, you can go and see all of my alocasias that I'm going to be talking about today in today's video in my Alocasia collection video. They're all in there. And you can see what they looked like a couple of months ago when I made the video. But this thing right here grows extremely fast. If you remember in my Alocasia video that I did, I think it was in February, where I had put a whole bunch of babies. I had a whole bunch of baby one of these, and I put them all in this same pot. And this is what it turned out to be. So only the strong survived, which was 4 of them. I put a bunch of babies in here, but not all of them made it. So the strong survived, which is totally fine with me, because I still have a very lush looking good pot. And yeah, so this is what she's looking like now. And same thing, same care that I had in my Alocasia collection video. She's in a self-watering pot, still the same self-watering pot that I had when she was a baby, aeroid mix. And yeah, and she currently sits on top of my countertop. She cannot fit in the cabinet. She was in the cabinet until she could not fit any longer, which did not take long, not long at all. But yeah, and I'm super happy with this one. I've given away lots and lots and lots of her babies, and they are still doing well as well. So, and I think this is her newest leaf here, and she's getting ready to put out another one. So I do nothing. I just leave her in the pot and feed her. I feed her really well. I feed all my plants the same. Well, I have made some adjustments to my Anthurium feed water, regular houseplant water, and then I have Anthurium water. So we're still trying to see how that's working out, but I think it's doing pretty well. All right, so that's the first one. And I think I'm just going to do all of my alocasias first. Yeah, I'll do all of my alocasias first. Next is my dragon scale. Yep, dragon moon. Okay, so this one was the hybrid. So it was a mellow crossed with a silver dragon is what this one is supposed to be. I don't know, yeah, you guys, I may have mixed up some tags. I got a dragon scale that's in there, so I'm pretty sure this is my mellow cross with silver dragon. This is what she looks like now. She was also in that video. I recently potted her up in this self-watering pot, and she's been doing pretty good. She might have a little bit of sunburnt from the grow lights, but I like how she looks. I like the different colorings on her leaves, and she does live in my grow cabinet. And honestly, I know it's going to be boring for me to say this over and over again, but I honestly don't do nothing completely special with these plants. I basically just leave them alone. I pretty much, as long as they're in some good soil mix, which I use Fox Farm for all of my soil mixes, that's the base. It's chunky aeroid mix in most of my pots, if it's not pond, but I like to keep my alocasias in chunky aeroid mix, most of them. And then, yeah, I just water them and leave them alone. I put them in one spot in my cabinet, and I just let them do their thing. I barely pick them up, barely look at them, other than through the glass. So I don't mess with them too much. And this is just the results that I get. Moving on, this one was a rehab. This was Queenie. This is Queenie, and my Friday and she took a hit. I repotted her into a bigger vessel, and she didn't like that. So I'm pretty sure she likes to be somewhat root bound. And I put her back into flugel stratum. I told you guys my rehab go-to is definitely flugel stratum, and she is root bound in here. All of her roots in here. This one's getting ready to go, but she is working on a new leaf. Yeah, she's working on a new leaf. This was her last one. So yeah, she's definitely sized up. She's not a baby anymore. She's not a baby, and so I'm happy about her. She's given me lots and tons and tons and tons of baby. I think she's given me four corms, and all of them, yeah, she gave me 4 corms, and I sold all of them. So I'm hoping that, you know, she will give me some more, which I'm sure she will. So yeah, that's her. And I don't do anything. Again, I put her in flugel. I make sure she's watered well. She's in my grow cabinet under some pretty decent light, and the temperature stays the same in there, and that's it. I was hoping that, you know, that things could be a little bit more exciting for you guys. All right, next is my Alocasia cooperia. And this is the same pot of babies that you've seen in my video. I did separate her. I just repotted her. I repotted her back into the same pot. The only reason why I had to unpot her in the first place was because I had sold one of the babies that were in here to a friend of mine that's in my Facebook group, and I actually had the mother plant for sale that I had cut back and put that one in leca. I had that one for sale, and he wanted it. Someone else got it. He was just really upset about it. So I was like, listen, I'll just unpot my big one and unpot the babies, and I'll pull one out of there for you. So even with one of the babies gone, she's still full and lush. And I just recently took her out of the grow cabinet because I really want the other babies to get some light so she can start sizing up even more. Yeah, again, the strong survived, and this is how she's doing. The original one I had, I barely kept alive, so I really don't understand what was the difference. I could barely keep the other one alive. It was like a pain in the butt for me trying to figure out that particular one. So I'm really grateful for the babies that she gave me, because I got to raise them up from itty bitty tiny things, and I feel like this pot is just doing me way better and easier for me to care for. So I'm just waiting on them to really size up and give me those really big leaves that everybody else has. That's what I'm waiting for. That's her. All right, one more alocasia to go, and that is going to be my silver dragon. I'm telling you guys, if you have not seen my alocasia collection video, you really need to go check that out. And this one was definitely featured in there. If you could remember when I talked about this particular pot, it was the one that I chopped up because it was so bad. I just re-chopped it up, and I told you guys that in 4 months she was going to come back and she was going to be better than ever, and she definitely is. This is her now. This is what she's looking like. She's still in the same exact self-watering pot. Roots coming out of the bottom in pond. She lives in my grow tent, and yeah, 100% come back. That is what she's looking like. I'm so proud of her. Yeah, and so I know now I'm just keeping her in high humidity. That's what she likes in my environment and my care. And I know I'm doing things right. I'm feeding her well. She's looking good. She's back 100%. So yeah, I'm going to keep her where she's at. I'm not going to move her. I'm not going to do anything else. She is acclimated to pond now, and that is what we're looking at. So if you want to see the whole full backstory on her, it's in my alocasia video. I don't really want to go. I wanted to make this video kind of quick, a shorter video today. All right, moving on. I posted the Anthurium video last week. However, when I made that video 3 weeks ago, so there are some changes with my collection there. But my favorites for this month, we'll start with this one. This one is the Dock Block F2 crossed with Luxurians. And I believe the last time you saw this one, that this was the last leaf that came out, and she was putting out a new one. I don't know if it was already out. I can't remember. But yes, so this is the newest leaf, and she's gorgeous. I'm loving the colors. This was the colors that I was looking for in this particular plant in the first place. So I know I talked about her in last week's video. I'm not going to talk too much about her, but I just wanted to show you guys her new leaf, what it's looking like. And the emergent leaf on this was so beautiful. I'll post the picture up. It was just stunning. The emergent leaf really threw me off. It was this chocolatey brown, gorgeous leaf. So I cannot wait. And she's ready to be repotted. Yeah, I'm going to get her repotted today, matter of fact, and upsize her to the next size pot, which is a 6-inch. Because this is a 4-inch, and I can see her roots down in the bottom of the pond. So yeah, I'm gonna get her repotted. Next to her is my Dressler, Indo Dressler, also featured in last week's video. And I know for sure that her leaves were not emerged yet. They were starting, but they didn't finish. But this is her newest leaf. It's still kind of soft, and she has 2 in here, right? She was double-headed, so she has, this one was the newest leaf as well, coming off of the smaller one. And I'm grateful that her leaves are looking so much better than it was before, because that one was the last one. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna do a video next week, and I'm gonna tell you guys what I've been doing to improve my Anthurium collection. I'm going to show you whose advice I took. I took a YouTuber's advice. So I'm going to show you whose advice I took, what advice I took, and did it make a difference in my collection? I believe that it did, but we'll talk about that in the next video when I do those updates. I wanted to show you guys a couple of them this week, and so that is her. I'm so happy. All right. And another one is my No ID from Cartel Dawn. And she is also one of my favorites. I don't think this leaf was out when you guys saw the last video, but this is her newest leaf. And after she put that one out, I went ahead and potted her into the 6-inch self-watering pot. And so far, so good. She's getting ready to put out another leaf, and maybe a flower already. Couldn't be. No, new leaf is on the way. I'm excited about that, and I hope it's bigger than this one, so we shall see. The next Anthurium, the last Anthurium, is new to me. I just got her this week, but I'm already in love with her already. So let me just move some of this stuff out the way. And this came in from Tropical Plants. I got a couple of them in. I will show you guys those next week, the rest of them. But this one is already one of my favorites. This is the Bestia F Velvet. And look at that. She is stunning. So with this particular one, this is not the one that I bid on in the live sale. The one I bid on in the live sale had some issues. So they inboxed me and gave me a choice if I want to get this one instead. And I said yes, because it was bigger than the one that I was going to get. So I definitely jumped on it, and I'm already in love with her. She's just so beautiful. I love it. The dark colors, the velvety touch. I'm already in love with it. All right, so that's all of the alocasias and all of the anthuriums. I have 3 more to go. So this next one is my Monstera mint. she is definitely one of my favorites this month. I just put her into Leca this month. So yeah, I was a little scared, a little worried about that, but so far she looks like she's doing good. I see a couple of new roots. So this one, when I got this one, she was itsy bitsy tiny. She just had like this leaf, and another leaf that I took off. And so what I got her this year, I can't remember which month, but my thinking and my method, I wanted to get this one sized up. This was the last leaf that she put out for me. I wanted to get her sized up fast. So my method was, she came in the little pod, and she came in a little tiny bitty 1-inch pot. So when she put out her first leaf in my care, I switched her over to a 3-inch pot. And then once she put out a new leaf, I put her into a 4-inch pot that was self-watering. And then she put out this is the first leaf she put out. And then I moved her, and then she put this one out. And then I moved her to that, like I said, the 4-inch self-watering pot, and she put this one out. So then I moved her into this pot with Leca, and now she's currently working on this leaf right here. When she finishes putting out this leaf, I'm going to switch her over to a basket with Leca in a bucket. And then I'm gonna go from there, let her probably put out maybe 2 more leaves, 2 or 3 more leaves. Well, I'm just going to let her outgrow the bucket. How about that? I'm going to let her outgrow the bucket, and then I'll upsize her from there. I feel like the more room monsteras have for their roots to expand and grow, the bigger the leaves will grow. I feel like from my green form to my Tide constellation to this one, I highly believe that the more room you give them, not too much room, but enough room to expand their roots, that they grow faster and they grow stronger and bigger for you, is my take on it. Yeah, that's just my take. And I have no problem with uppotting them with every new leaf that they give me until she's in a pretty decent sized bucket, and then I'll leave her there. But she's been doing very fine. I also have another one that came straight out of tissue culture bag. And the reason why I even got this one, I got this one from the Green Escape. And the only reason why is because I wanted, these things are kind of expensive. So I chose to get a TC one in a bag that wasn't acclimated. And it was my first one, and I thought I killed it. So I thought I killed it. And I was like, man, I really wanted one. So I went ahead and bought one that was acclimated. So that's this one. And the one that I got that wasn't acclimated, she made it. And she's still alive, and she's in my cabinet, and she's doing well. And I just put her in Leca as well last week, and she is doing great. She put out a couple, maybe 3 leaves in my care so far. And yeah, she's doing great. So my goal is to size that one up as well, and then put both of them in the same pot eventually, so I have a nice lush full pot of this. All right, moving on. I'm going to have to do some adjustments with my camera to show you the last 2 because they're pretty big. So hang on 1 second. All right, so my next one is this Pothos on a pole. You guys can see her. I don't know if the camera will pick her all the way up or not, but this is also one of my favorites, and she's been one of my favorites for a very, very, very long time. I actually started growing her in February, and when she started, she was way down at the bottom, and she has put out all of this new growth for me in a couple of months. She lives in my grow cabinet. So the backstory on this one is that I had ordered a giant pothos leaf. I ordered 3 of them, 3 giant pothos leaves. And my thinking was, okay, they're going to continue upsizing from that size. It was a big leaf, and no, that was not the case. But however, I feel like when that particular one may have had, excuse me, one of my alocasias fell. Sorry about that. It's like one of your children fell over, right? You got to pick them up. All right. So yeah, I hope you guys can see this well. So basically, she lives in my grow cabinet. I put her on this pole in February. Within the first month, I noticed how fast she started growing, and I'm not sure if it's because that she started with a big leaf. I don't know if that was what's doing it, or I do think that her being in my grow tent and being in front of a light really helped her to excel her growth as fast as she does. But I don't know, do they normally grow that fast or not? But I pretty much think that by the end of, I want to say June or maybe July, she'll reach the top of this right here. I'm going to put another pole on top, and then I think I'm going to chop her. I will chop her and get her started again. But she is absolutely probably my number one top favorite plant in my entire collection is this one right here. Because I'm amazed. I'm amazed at every new leaf that comes out. And they just, they are definitely sizing up, and it's just amazing to see that happening. I have a couple of pothos that are on poles, but none of them grow as fast and as big as this one has. And I've had some pothos on the poles way before this one, and they're doing okay, but they're not like this at all. Not like this at all. It's almost like as soon as one leaf hardens off, she's putting out another leaf. And at first glance, I'm thinking, oh no, the new leaf is so much smaller than the last leaf. Nope. It takes a good 4 or 5 days. I come back 4 or 5 days later, and that leaf is gigantic. So don't let that fool you. And when she expands and hardens off, she's definitely going to be bigger. There is 2 vines on here. Initially, one vine was always taller than the other one. So there's only one vine from here to here, but there's 2 vines down here. So this bottom half is going to be more lush, more filled out when it continues to grow up, because I don't think I'm going to ever get rid of it. I think I'm just going to keep multiplying this pole and keeping the bottom and let the bottom one keep growing. So yeah, this is my number one favorite plant of all time. And I have one more favorite plant to show you guys, and she's a biggie. So give me a second and I'll get her. Okay. Oh. All right. This is her. This is my Monstera deliciosus. And I've had her. This is probably one of the oldest plants in my collection. I've had her since August of last year. And there's 2 of them in here. Don't be fooled. There are 2, but there are 2 pieces in here that came from the same plant. So, or not from the same plant. So I'm pretty sure I talked about this one in my February favorites. Yeah, I think I did. I'm not sure. But what had happened was, since I said it's one of the first plants I ever got, I didn't even know the name of this plant. I had no idea, but it got root rot. And I ended up saving one piece from that plant, and then I bought another one. So I bought another one, and then that one was doing okay. So the piece from the original one, which is the baby, she's in the front. So this is her. This is the baby one right here. And then the second one that I had is in here in the back. And I put them both in here, and she currently lives in a pot of leca, and she is doing well. I put her outside this year. It's the first time she's been outside, but these are she's working on 3rd fenestrations. So this is her last leaf that she gave me here, with the 3rd fenestrations just now starting. So I'm excited to see what the newest leaf is going to look like. but she is definitely outgrowing this big old pot. Once I put them both in the same pot, in a big pot, she just really just kept taking, she just took off and just kept taking off, really. And she's just nonstop. I don't want to put her on a pole simply because I don't like that look. I don't like the look of them on moss poles. So I keep her like this. But she is going to need to be chopped fairly soon. Let me see if I can turn her around so you guys can see the back side of her. This is the biggest part here. And yeah, so her next new leaf is getting ready to come out there. But she is all kinds of hanging out of the bottom here. And let me make sure you guys can see. Yeah, she is definitely hanging over this pot. But I try to make sure that I put all of the arrowroots back into the pot of leca, or they like to find their way down to the reservoir anyways. So I think my next mission is just going to chop her here and maybe get rid of the bottom. I'm not sure, but as long as she doesn't look too unruly, I don't want her to look crazy and unruly. Yeah, I don't like that look. I love the bushy look that she has, but I don't want her to be all crazy, right? If she has, I've seen some photos of the green form deliciosas in groups or online, and the leaves are not sizing up to maturity, or they're really dangly. The stems themselves are kind of weak looking, and they're just all over the place, and they just look crazy. My advice would be to give it more sunlight, feed it well, give it lots of nutrients. I use, TPS1, Silica Gold, Rapid Start. I use all of that CalMag in my nutrient solution. Now that she is so big and she drinks so much, my only option now is to just give her a big pitcher of water with, I just put in some I put in some type of fertilizer, whatever I have left over up there. Maybe it could be a Monstera food, it could be GT foliage focus, whatever I got left up there, or whatever. I don't give her the same nutrients that I used to give her because she drinks so much, right? So it's like, okay, I'm not going to give her a whole gallon of nutrient solution just for herself. I feel like I'll be wasting my nutrient solution when I could be using that on 50 plants versus one. So now I just give her whatever I got up there. As long as she's eating, I think she's going to be fine. She's grown to a point where I'm happy with her. And yeah, I think that's all I can really say about her. We just keep tucking her area roots back into the substrate. All of my Monsteras are in leca. They love leca. So yeah, that is my tip for her. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down below. If you have any ideas of what type of videos you want me to make, you can also leave that. And I just thank you guys for being here. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, and I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys on the next video.